Good morning, everyone, and welcome to THG News Today. My name is Mervyn Henley, and it's always good to be in your company for a few minutes to bring you the news and or commentary from around the region and in the diaspora. The news is powered by St. Martin's Carl & Sons, a unique bakery on the Pontville, and in Colby and Feezes on Nevis. Today is actually a holiday in my neck of the woods, May 27th. It's Memorial Day, and we remember those who have died in military service for the United States. So we salute those heroes. Now, I ask that if this is your first time or second time on here, I encourage you to subscribe to our network's channel, and thank you so much for doing that. Now, let's get right to our news as we begin out of Nevis. I know it has been a roller coaster weekend, but here we go, as some of you would have known already. But here is the story, and from a police report. The police are investigating a shooting incident that occurred in Hamilton on Nevis on May 24th between 10:30 and 11:30 p.m. That's 10:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. that is. The criminal act resulted in the death of Miss Joelle Huggins of Hamilton and left her brother Julian Huggins of Hamilton seriously wounded. Responding to the scene outside the victim's home, officers observed Mr. Huggins laying in a vehicle with bullet wounds to the left leg and abdomen. He was immediately transported to the Alexandra Hospital, where he was treated and has since been warded in stable condition. His sister, Miss Huggins, was observed on the ground some distance from the vehicle with bullet wounds to the body. She was examined and pronounced deceased at the scene. Initial investigations suggest that both Mr. and Miss Huggins were seated inside the vehicle when they were accosted by two armed assailants. The crime scene unit of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force processed the scene and collected some items of evidential value. An investigation into the incident is now underway, and the general public will be kept appropriately updated as it progresses. Should anyone have information about this or any other criminal incident, you are firmly encouraged to contact the nearest police station or call the Crime Stoppers hotline at 707. That's on Nevis. From what this is saying, both of them were in the vehicle according to initial police report, right? And I guess that's when the two assailants came to the vehicle. But these guys, they're cold, man. They're very cold-blooded to see a woman, a young lady, running from a vehicle, but decided to take her out. I mean, it is sad. It is unbelievable. You know, I do believe that the time has come to bring back as a discussion the death penalty. I see no other way. Bring back hanging. And if that is too outdated, the government should invest in an execution chamber. But this just cannot continue. And we keep saying this, but we need leaders to get more aggressive, angry, and radical. And I am sure currently, St. Kitts and Nevis, there is a gun amnesty going on right now. Do we think these cold-blooded monsters, they don't know that an amnesty is in effect? But they're still out there on a mission to take out who they want to take out and destroy the country in the process. And when they are taking out folks, they do not care, and it's very evident, especially in this latest crime, if it's woman, child, or someone who is just passing by. That is why it was such a stupid, idiotic comment to make at a press conference the other day, when it was said by a security official that the gunmen are only going after gunmen. What nonsense. The young lady who was brutally gunned down, are you then suggesting that she was part of a gun or a gun ring? While gun amnesty may be effective in one way, it's not effective in another. We need to be radical and, as I say, angry. And we can't just say, okay, we catch the criminals and we give them 40 years or a lifetime in prison. But after a while, the young men, they get accustomed to the environment, and all they do behind those prison walls, getting fat off taxpayers' money. I just believe we need to be talking about the death penalty. So they'll think twice, because they will know then that their punishment will be very slow and painful. It will be a slow and painful death. And that's my view on the matter. Or else, what's going to happen? Somebody else is going to get killed. One of our, whether it's a family member or a friend or someone in the community, a businessman, a politician, and we make all these speeches every time they get killed. And we say, oh, we need to do this and we need to do that. So it's like we're just going around in circles. We're just going around in circles like a Ferris wheel or merry-go-round. I encourage the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Drew, and I encourage Premier of Nevis, the Honorable Mark Brantley, and I encourage the Attorney General, Honorable Garth Wilkin, and both sides of the Parliament, government, and opposition. Knock your minds together, knock your heads and minds together. And I believe that all of you in a room, you guys will agree that you need to bring back the death penalty. It should be back on the books. I know we may have our political disagreements, but I know that the leader of Nevis, he doesn't want any crime in the country, on the island. Same thing for Prime Minister Drew. But so that is why we can't go around in circles. And I support the governments, both governments. And they're trying. I believe deep down that they are trying. But you have to get radical. And maybe you need to get some of your policy advisors, your advisors, national security advisors out of the way. Because right now, what they're given is not enough. You need to get radical. And then you can't come tell me about human rights and this and that and all kind of things when it comes to hanging. So what happened to a big old America with the execution chambers? That's what, do that. But this cannot continue. Let's move on. The NOAA, the national, under the umbrella of the National Hurricane Center and all of them, they have predicted an above normal 2024 Atlantic hurricane season. And as some of you in the islands, you can tell already that it's going to be a busy one. It is going to be a busy one. The weather conditions already deteriorating in some of the islands over the weekend for the first tropical wave. We're seeing that. And of course, the hurricane season spans from June 1st to November 30th. And they've predicted an 85% chance of an above normal season and a 10% chance of a near normal season and a 5% chance of a below normal season. I know some of you get these reports yearly and you say, oh, they say the same thing every year. No, they don't. This report, this release that they did a few days ago, they have never said this last year or the year before or the year before. This is the first time they're raising the alarm of the seriousness of this year's hurricane season. Yeah? So they are forecasting a range of 17 to 25 total named storms, winds of 39 miles per hour or higher. Of these, 8 to 13 are forecast to become hurricanes. 8 to 13, winds of 74 miles or higher, including 4 to 7 major hurricanes, categories 3, 4, or 5, with winds of 111 miles per hour or higher. And forecasters, they're saying they are 70% confident in these ranges. So again, I appeal to you across the region and even in the United States to be prepared for what will be a very active and what you should take as a very serious hurricane season. Finally, in St. Maarten, I'm not even going to get into the political craziness on St. Maarten because what has happened lately over the weekend, and I'm sure this morning and throughout the week, I'll have updates after updates because the person who brought down the government, Mr. Kevin Mingret, he no longer supports the coalition government. He went over to support the opposition, which they had 7 in minority. They need 8 as a majority. So he would have formed the coalition to present 8 as a majority. Now, a few days after, he's saying, oh, no, I can't do that again. Let me go back over to the government side. And it's just a whole bunch of nonsense. And I think, say, Martiners, they have had enough of Kevin Mingret. They have just had enough of him, and he just needs to go away. But here is a story. Of course, there was an unexpected shortage of immigration officers at the Princess Juliana Airport over the weekend due to a mass sick call, reportedly linked to unpaid overtime, prompted immediate action from the Ministry of Justice. Justice Minister the Honorable Lyndon Lewis, also a former immigration officer, personally visited the airport to assess the situation and lend a hand. Efforts to mobilize additional officers from the mobile unit were unsuccessful, leading the minister to step in directly alongside his former colleagues on the front lines. Support was later bolstered by the Alpha team, whose members assisted effectively during the crisis. And Minister Lewis, he made a comment saying that people who work deserve to get paid, and I am committed to ensuring that all justice workers continue to receive their deserved payment, as I see it important to keep the morale and ultimately important to the safety and well-being of St. Maarten. Minister Lewis also added, "It is my civic duty to serve my country by all means necessary to ensure the safety and security of the border." So here is a former immigration officer who is now Minister of Justice, just about 3 weeks now in office. And the immigration officials, immigration officers, they decided not to show up. They're protesting. So guess what he did? Took off the minister hat. He put on the immigration hat and he went to work over the weekend. Good going for the minister and for the people of St. Maarten, because it could have been a different situation. And other people came from different places to assist the immigration officials over the weekend when it was such a busy time at the Princess Juliana International Airport. Well, folks, there you have it, our news for this morning. I'm sure I'm going to get so many news stories this week and today regarding the situation, the political situation on the island of St. Maarten. So I will share that with you when it comes in. I'm back here with you tomorrow morning, God's willing, at 6 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time, or you can feel free to view whenever you have an opportunity to do so and listen. Remember, before you leave here, to subscribe to our news network. The news, of course, this morning is sponsored by Carl & Sons on St. Maarten and Feathers on Nevis. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Carl & Sons have been serving the people of St. Maarten for over 40 years. And the food and service get better and better. From early morning, customers flock to the bakery for their favorite sandwiches, cakes, pastries, you name it. First thing at mornings and last thing at afternoons, folks rush to Carl & Sons for simply the best. There are 2 locations, Colbay and on the Punfill. In Colbay, the opening hours are Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Saturdays, 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. And on Sundays, 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Opening hours on the Punfill, Monday to Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 6:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. We also cater for weddings, parties, special events, whatever the occasion. It's Carl & Sons. Our staff, we are always happy to serve you. Call us today, the Colbay location, 721-544-2462. That's 721-544-2462. Or in Phillipsburg, 721-543-1059. That's 721-543-1059. It's Carl & Sons Bakery. We are here to serve you. Nevis, satisfy your sweet tooth at Feathers, the coziest spot in Charlestown, known for its mouth-watering ice cream and dal parade. We are open Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Come in and sample our patties, sandwiches, air-fried wings with fries, hot dogs, rotis, and now our famous smoothies, in all flavors of course. And don't forget to try the famous bus-up shut and saltfish. It's Feathers, located at the entrance to the Cotton Ginnery Mall in Charlestown, Nevis. They are also available by phone, so place your order by calling 1-869-665-2458. Don't ask about the rest, just try the best.